You're listening to the Murder Speaks podcast, the show that spills the tea about true crime. Here's your host, Wendy Hinbest.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, definitely. It's funny. I actually watched the ones that you appeared. My TV is always on that channel. So I actually saw the one with Teresa Lockhart. I watched that episode like a long time ago. And I'm like, that's what she looks like. Pretty cool. And then I watched the Diabolical one yesterday. I actually did my podcast on that one because I never seen that one before.
Oh, okay.
With Michelle Lulic. So the one that you were in, so I watched that one yesterday, and I ended up doing my podcast this week on it. So I'm like, that's a really good, interesting story. So yeah. Anyway, welcome. So
thank you.
Please welcome my guest, Michelle Lulic. She's an actress who's best known for her lead role in Where Demons Dwell, and for her recurring guest star roles on Travel Channel's Mysteries at the Museum, ranging from the bobbed hair bandits of the 1920s to a 1960s woman escaping the Berlin Wall. She can also be seen on the investigation discovery shows Homicide Hunter, Diabolical, and Pandora's Box, Unleashing Evil. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm excited. I'm like, this is like I'm obsessed with the investigation discovery channel. So when I saw your email, I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want to chat with her.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know it's either like you love it or you really love it is kind of how investigation discovery goes. Yeah.
I'm like obsessed with the investigation discovery channel. I watch like all the shows, and I'm constantly watching like all those documentaries, murder documentaries and everything. Like I'm like obsessed. So yeah, that's why I have a podcast dedicated to just true crime stories, because I'm really like I find it fascinating. Like obviously I don't like murder, but I find it fascinating how somebody can actually do the thing that some people do. Like what goes through their head, you know what I mean? Like it's just to me, the psychology of it is fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's as an actor, it's like you want to explore different characters and get into their mindset and get into their head, and that's with those types of stories, it really makes you think like, how did this person get to that point, or what led them to this?
I'm always thinking, what makes them do the things they do? Like what happened to them as a child or whatever the case. You know what I mean? So okay, so Michelle, what's it like acting out true crime stories and playing real people?
Yeah, so it's really fun, but more so interesting. I think there's a fine line between, usually when you play a character and it's a fictional character, you can kind of create them and make them up. But with a real true crime story, it's more about doing the research and finding out who this person is and kind of, reading up on the news articles from when the murder happened. And it's a lot of wanting to be as truthful as possible, because you want to do the family justice, because usually they're involved in the show, and you just want to tell the story and make the audience believe that it really happened, because it did.
Exactly. No, definitely.
Yeah.
So how does that differ from acting out fictionalized mysteries we see on TV, like Law and Order, for example?
Yeah, so it's definitely different. I think it's more so trying to accurately portray them and not really give away any details, because I think that's the thing about a lot of these murder cases is you don't know how they got there. It's kind of like having it unravel for you. And with Law and Order, it's a lot of like dropping hints and being like, did they do it? Did they not do it? And all of that kind of stuff. And then with true crime, it just kind of plays out reality in the way that reality happens, because it happened. Yeah,
definitely. I think that's the most fascinating thing for me. Like all these shows that we watch on the investigation discovery, it's not just, there's actors like you, like playing the role of the person, but these are real stories. Like these are real people's lives that, that people have actually lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And sometimes as an actor, it's a little unnerving. I know when I did Hometown Homicide, like everyone was telling me that I looked just like the actual woman.
Actually.
And yeah, and everyone was like, you look so much like her. It's uncanny. And I was like, it just like, it really, it hits close to home because it's like, this could happen to me. This could happen to any of us.
Yes.
And yeah, just kind of wanting to, do your job and not, stretch the truth in any way.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing too. You don't want to make it like too over the top because then it's like, well, that's not really what happened. People are like,
Yeah.
that's not really what happened. Like the people who actually are affected by it would be like, that's not really what happened. What is they doing?
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so out of Hometown Homicide, Diabolical, and Pandora's Box Unleashing Evil, which role did you enjoy playing the most and why?
I think that they were all very different. That was the fun part, was that my 3 characters were 3 different characters. So one of them was the victim in Hometown Homicide. Then in Diabolical, I was the friend of the husband. So I kind of was, a part of watching it unravel. And then in Pandora's Box, I was someone who knew the person that went missing and was being questioned by police about it. So it's kind of is interesting to play all these different characters, and it shows how many people are affected when these things happen, and all the people involved in the story, and yes, the murder itself, but also, these are real people with real lives and friends and family. And
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a favorite, go back to the question.
It's okay.
Definitely Hometown Homicide, I think, because I think playing the murder victim and kind of, playing her in the beginning when she's in love and happy, and then playing her at the end, unfortunately. And you kind of go through the journey with the character.
I bet, eh? That must be so much fun doing what you do, like acting out. Like obviously, it's not like fun, like in that sense. But I mean, it could be like it would be very interesting to try to be that person, like be the one that was murdered, for example. I think that would be kind of like, that'd be interesting. That'd be a very interesting role to play.
Yeah, and for that one, we had some stunt training that we did to do the choking scene at the end, and really everyone on set was really understanding. They wanted to make it as safe as possible and also film it in such a way so that the audience can capture the intensity of the moment.
Yeah, that's important, for sure.
Yeah.
To get that
so yeah, so and then it's kind of funny as an actor because me and the actor that I'm acting with, like, we'll do the scene and then we'll kind of laugh it off and be like, are you okay? Yeah, it's always definitely a lot friendlier on set than anything in real life.
Yeah, I figured that. I didn't think it was like murdering anybody behind the head or anything.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I have to watch that one. I saw Diabolical. I saw the Hometown Homicide. I never watched the Pandora's Box one. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, you piqued my interest. I'm definitely gonna have to watch that one tonight to see, because when you said that you were, I think you said that you were the victim in that one. You were.
For that one, I was questioned by detectives.
Yeah, I have to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To-do list today for later on today. Okay, so like, what is your favorite role ever played and why? Like ever?
Ever.
You've done like the movies, and you've done other short films and stuff like that. So what is you have to pick one, which I know is a hard question. If you have to pick one, what would be your most favorite one and why?
I think my favorite has to be the horror film Where Demons Dwell that I did. Since a horror film, it was a lot of going into creepy basements and being terrified. And
horror movies, my favorite genre.
Yeah, no, it was just so fun. Also, because that was a fiction circumstance, so it was more so of really being able to get wrapped up in the emotion and be scared and yeah, it's really funny to be standing in front of a camera and just have the director yelling at you like, "There's a demon behind you," and then and then you're like running from nothing because there's nothing actually there. So that was just fun to really just have fun on set and play around and explore emotions without actually having to be scared in real life.
Cool. Cool. So, like, how do you prepare yourself for a role?
It definitely depends on the role. I think for the investigation discovery shows or even Mysteries at the Museum on the Travel Channel, those were all real stories. So that was a lot of, depending on how much time I had, being able to do some research and read up on articles and really figure out what happened and who this person is. And if I can, talk to the showrunner, talk to the directors. I know for Hometown Homicide, I had a lot of time on set in between filming to kind of talk to the showrunner, and he knew the story better than any of us. So, yeah, so just kind of getting any information that you can. And then for everything else, really kind of, breaking down the character and figuring, then more so creating the character and figuring out who that person might be and how they might walk and how they might speak and all of those mannerisms. And yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, what made you want to become an actress? Is it all the fun?
Well, yes, exactly. When I was when I was 12 years old, I started at community theater camp. So I got involved with musicals, and we did Beauty and the Beast and Seussical the Musical and all different fun musical productions. And I was never much of a singer, so I was usually in the ensemble, dancing in the background, and but I really, yeah, and I really connected with acting, and I took a monologue class, and I did a very dramatic monologue. I've always been drawn to the dramatic work. So
great, yeah.
Yeah, so I just kind of, I don't know, it's one of those things where I did it and I got hooked, and I haven't really turned back since.
Nice. You shouldn't. So are you working on any current projects right now?
So right now, because of the quarantine, there's a lot of productions that are stopped and on hold.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. So that's been interesting, but I have been able to narrate some audiobooks.
Nice.
So I have an audiobook I did called The Rose Galaxy, which is a science fiction romance story. And that is going to be coming out soon. Not exactly sure yet, but within the next month or so. So I'm really excited for that. And then I'm working on another book from the same author.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is some advice you would give to someone aspiring to become an actress?
I think I would really just tell anyone who wants to act to get your hands on any reading material, books, videos on YouTube, just kind of dive into it. And there's so much research you can do, and there's so many resources now.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd really just learn everything that you can, whether it's about the craft or the business. And the more that you learn and the more that you talk to people, you realize that, it is possible, and it is a path that is available to us. I think if you don't know any artists or actors in your life, it could be hard to think that it's an option for you to do. But it definitely is if you just, look into it and get started and audition for everything in the beginning, and eventually it'll pick up.
Nice. Is that what you did? You basically just auditioned for everything and then things just started coming your way kind of thing?
Yeah, I started, I did some background work. I did some student films and just kind of try to find any opportunities. And it really just builds from there.
Nice. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So where can everybody find you online, Michelle?
You could find me on Instagram mostly at Michelle Lulic, which is Lulic. And and then I'm on Facebook, and basically just type my name into social media and you should find it.
That's true. I was actually looking at your website today. It's pretty nice looking website.
Thank
Put
you.
in Michelle Lulic, and there you were.
Yeah.
Easy to find her online, people. Not hard to find her online at all. Awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really, really enjoyed talking to you and hearing all about your all your stuff that you've done. I wish you well. I think that you're going to do fantastic. You seem like you know what you're doing, so and you seem very passionate about what you do. So that's fantastic. So, okay. Well, I will definitely be following you on Instagram. And
all right.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks again for joining us on Murder Speaks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. Take care.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's get to this week's true crime story. So today's real crime story is about 19-year-old Erika Case from Terre Haute, Indiana. September 5th, 1998, Erika Case was house sitting. She invited two boys over, Clint Mackey and Isaiah Dooley. Erika Case and Isaiah Dooley were best friends. They were all swimming in the pool and partying. The next morning, her sister found her dead. She had 33 cuts to her body. The knife was missing from the scene. The police bring the two boys, Clint Mackey and Isaiah Dooley, in for questioning.
State your name, full name, if you will, please.
Clinton B. Mackey.
On the night in question, did you have occasion to meet up with Erika Case?
Yes, sir.
Who was with you?
Isaiah Dooley.
Let's start how long you and Erika's actually been friends.
Since I was a sophomore in high school. Probably talk to her almost every day and probably see her at least 2 to 3 days out of a week. We were gonna go out and swim and drink and just goof off and have a good time.
Okay.
He kept saying, man, I'm born you. Just that he kept repeating himself. That's what made me feel weird, you know?
Okay, you can't want to have sex with her.
Yes.
Clint says Isaiah was the last one to see Erika alive. Isaiah says when they left, she was alive. They both tell different stories. Clint was in a car accident, but Isaiah did not know anything about the car accident. Clint drove Isaiah home first, then drove home. But Erika's dad tells police that Isaiah told him that when Clint dropped Isaiah off, Clint told Isaiah that he was going back to the house to get the beer they left behind. So Clint went back alone. Detectives go and talk to Isaiah, but he refuses to talk to them. Isaiah's friend says that Isaiah told her that Clint tried to put the moves on Erika, and Erika said no. And apparently Clint got angry. They try to talk to Clint's grandfather, but he refuses to talk to them.
Good morning.
Mr. Mackey?
Yeah?
Good morning. My name is John Mosen with the Sheriff's Office. How are you?
Yeah?
Well, we reopened the Erika Case file, and we got two guys kind of pointing their fingers at one another, and we're digging into it again. So I don't know if you've heard from Clint lately or know where he's at.
I know where he's at. I heard from him.
Yeah, I'm sorry you
I
have.
really don't want to hear from you folks.
We just want to know all that we can to try and figure out what happened, Mr. Mackey. A
I
girl is
don't really
dead.
think that they ever originally wanted to know what happened, and I don't think you want to know now.
Well, we do, and
Go away.
we weren't involved in this before.
Go away.
How long are you going to protect his sorry ass?
Protect shit. Get off my property.
Clint's ex-girlfriend tells detectives that he used to abuse her. She placed a restraining order against him.
What's your history with him?
We dated.
Did you ever have a problem? Did he get upset if you ever told him no?
Yes. Very badly.
I like that.
I like it.
Was it scary?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would, probably 2 or 3 times, he'd slam me against the wall. And he got a look in his eye. It was almost his eyes turned black if he would tell him no. I mean, it was almost evil.
They talk to other girls who say that Clint raped and abused them. The DA offered Isaiah immunity to talk to them.
How long were you and Clint kind of friends, or kind of
Just as, I would say maybe a month,
so not very long?
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. When you guys pulled into the Burrises, there was no cars bumped each other, no cars hit each other?
I was never with him if he got into an accident.
Okay.
I
And
can say
did he ever make any mention of that to you? And you're sure of that?
Positively sure.
Do you remember telling Mr. Jury Case that at some point Clint told you he went back to get the beer.
No, I don't.
When you left the verses for the final time that night, do you remember if you went by yourself or if you left Clint behind and came back or what the deal was?
I don't.
Okay.
No, for sure.
Do you remember about what time that was? No. Come on. Did you leave at any other time?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to remember. I don't.
I'm puzzled here. Yesterday you told me that Erika was your best friend.
Yes.
Would she be in here doing what you're doing to us right now with this, I don't remember, I'm not sure? How often does your best friend get killed?
We didn't.
I understand that, sir. Let me just ask this question.
No, let me lay the ground rules. You'll treat with respect.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am. Your relationship now with Clint Mackey is what?
None.
None. And let me ask you something. When we talk to Clint, who do you think he's going to say did this? He is going to blame you. Ask your lawyers right now. It's time to cowboy up here, pal. This is the time to clear yourself. That's why we're here, man.
I'm telling you.
I mean, this is the night a woman was killed. You're the last.
And I was not there.
I'm speculating anymore. If you want to ask him about something he saw or observed, but he's not going to speculate anymore.
The police talked to Clint's friend.
So when your encounter occurred with Clint Mackey, where were you at?
Client came over one evening and said, I need somebody to talk to. Will you take a drive with me? And he took me out in the country, and I remember we parked in between two cornfields, and then he just started crying really hard, and I was like, what's going on? And then he asked me if I had heard about the Erika Case situation. He talked about how him and some guy named Isaiah, and that she was house sitting and that they were on drugs.
Did he specifically say what drugs or?
He said they were tripping.
Okay.
And that he had asked her out, and she told him no one laughed at him, and he got angry. And he went on to describe about how when he came to, he realized he had blood on his hands.
What else does he say about that?
That he had bloody clothes in the back of his closet.
Okay.
At that point, I started to get scared, because that's when he told me that if I ever said anything, he'd hurt me.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Mackey could have done this?
I think he did do it.
You think he did do it?
I do.
After that interview, they decide it's time to talk to Clint.
You brought the cops around here. You ran my name again down through the mud because this is a little town.
Clint, calm down.
I got kids that go to school here. They know everybody. This is bull.
Son, you're the last person to see her alive.
I was not the last person to see her alive. Isaiah went in there and dropped off her keys, and we left. I was not the last person to see her alive. I sat out there in my car. He went in there, and I thought maybe he was pinching from her bag of weed.
And there's something mentioned about acid. Y'all got a hit of acid?
I didn't get hit acid. I didn't see anybody take any acid.
Okay.
We went out there, we partied, had a good time, went and got her car, brought it back, went home.
There was contact between your car and hers. You've got a broken front left lens. You remember?
I don't know. I don't remember hitting the car. I don't remember. That's not something that I remember. I was pretty dumb.
When you brought her car back, how long did he stay inside?
He was in there a few minutes.
This could be important here. When he came back out, did you see blood on him?
No, I didn't see no blood. He didn't have no blood on him.
Do you have a knife on him?
No.
When they talked to you 15 years ago, you said you hit on Erika, felt her breast, and
in the pool, yeah.
Yeah.
In the pool. We agreed we was gonna have sex.
Oh, really?
Then she got sick. Yeah. Then she got sick.
Okay.
She threw up.
What did you think when you weren't gonna have sex? I mean, I know how that can be when somebody's.
I wasn't worried about it. I had a girlfriend.
Do you know a girl named Penny? Remember a girl named Penny? You went over to her house and talked to her at some point? Penny?
No, we weren't that close.
She said you guys went for a ride and you talked about this and you started to cry?
I don't remember.
Do you ever remember telling her that you woke up and you had blood on your hands?
No, I never told her that I had blood on my hands. No, I'm done. I'm done.
Can I show you this real quick? Did you ever see Erika like this?
No.
She was stabbed 33 times, throat cut.
How terrible is that? You know what I mean? We want to find closure to this.
Are you sorry?
For what?
For this.
I didn't do this.
Even if you didn't do it.
I didn't do this.
What happened?
I didn't have nothing to do with it, and you're not gonna push me into. I didn't do that. I partied that night. We left. But I didn't do that.
He tells them that they never did acid, and he never got into an accident. But in 1998, Clint said there was acid, and there was an accident. He tells them Isaiah came out of the house clean, with no blood on him whatsoever, which is impossible if you're the killer. So Isaiah is in the clear. January 21st, 2014, Clint went to the police station and confessed to killing Erika Case.
This is something that shouldn't happen. Something did happen. And her family needs closure, and so does mine.
How many times do you think you've done LSD?
One time.
Just that night?
One time, yeah. So I went in town, got her car so that she has a way to get home. Came back, sat out there and I waited on Isaiah. He came out to the car. I dropped Isaiah off. I went and I got a pack of cigarettes, got some gasoline. I don't know. I don't understand what the hell. I don't know what happened.
Let me ask you.
I honestly don't.
But for some reason you went back in your car?
I went back in there, guys.
I went in your car?
I went in my car. I went in there. I walked in the house. I grabbed the knife. I walked right over and I killed her. And I didn't talk to her. I didn't ask any questions. I killed her.
On July 20, 2015, Clint Mackey pled guilty to the murder of Erika Case, and he was sentenced to 40 years in prison. He ended up dying in prison. He committed suicide by hanging himself. Clint Mackey was 18 years old when he killed Erika Case, and he was 33 when he confessed. This poor girl, I can't imagine what was going through her head. When he returned, getting stabbed 33 times, he finally confessed. I'm not sure if he confessed because he knew that they were onto him, or because if he felt guilty. But at least now, the family is at peace. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's true crime story. If you like it, please share it. Sharing is caring. And if you are a true crime addict like me, check out my store, crystalkiss.com. That's Crystal with a K, for some murder merch. I sell t-shirts, hoodies, leggings, and tank tops. Free shipping on all orders, so check it out. Next week, I'll be chatting with author Jack Alhai, and you don't want to miss it. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.